3 weeks after the grid went dark, you're walking down a street that used to have a Starbucks on every corner. Now it has checkpoints, makeshift ones, groups of men with hungry eyes and too much free time. You've got 72 hours of food in your pack, a water filter, a med kit, maybe something heavier tucked in your waistband. You need to cross 6 blocks to get back to your family. 6 blocks. Might as well be 6 miles. Because somewhere between here and there, someone is going to look at you, really look at you, and in that 2-second glance, they're going to decide if you're worth following, worth stopping, worth taking from. And here's what most people in the prepper world won't admit. The biggest threat to your survival after collapse isn't your lack of firepower. It's not your cardio. It's not your food supply. It's the fact that you look like you have a food supply. You've been lied to about what blending in means. Every forum, every tactical channel, every gear review told you to buy the right stuff, pack the right bag, wear the right boots, and they accidentally taught you how to dress like a loot crate in a video game. But we're going to fix that right now, because becoming truly invisible, a real gray man, is not about gear. It's about understanding how the human brain selects targets. And once you understand the machine, you can hack it. Stick around for the part about your hands, by the way, because your hands might be the single biggest thing giving you away, and almost nobody talks about it. So what is a gray man really? Strip away all the forum debates, and it comes down to one brutal idea. You are forgettable. Not cool. Not tough. Not prepared looking. Forgettable. The kind of person that someone's eyes slide right over. The kind of person a witness can't describe 5 minutes later. Studies in criminal psychology, particularly research from the University of Leicester, show that criminals select their targets in under 7 seconds. 7. And they're not looking at your gun. They're reading your body like a sentence, and most of it is subconscious. Here's where it gets uncomfortable for a lot of preppers. The number one thing that makes you a target in a post-collapse environment isn't weakness. It's visible value. That 511 tactical bag, it screams supplies. Those Solomon boots that cost you $200, they say this person has resources. That Molly webbing on your chest rig, you might as well be wearing a sign that says, "Rob me, I'm prepared." I've seen guys at preparedness expos dressed like they're about to invade Fallujah. Plate carriers, camo everything, patches with skulls on them. And I always think the same thing. In a real collapse, that guy lasts about 48 hours before someone with a scoped rifle on a rooftop decides he looks like a supply depot worth raiding. The real gray man does the opposite, and it starts with what I call the 3 layers of invisible. Layer 1. The outer show. This is your clothing, your bag, your visible gear. And the rule is painfully simple. Look like everyone else. Not everyone else from a prepper forum, everyone else on the street during a crisis. Think about what people actually wear during disasters. Go look at photos from Hurricane Katrina, from the Bosnian War, from the Argentine economic collapse of 2001. You know what survivors look like? Tired, dusty, average. Jeans, a worn jacket, a grocery bag, a basic backpack, the kind a college kid carries, not the kind with 40 Molly attachment points and a hydration bladder tube poking out the top. Your bag should look like it might contain dirty laundry, not like it contains everything needed to survive for a week. Here's a detail that most gray man guides skip entirely. Color matters, but not the way you think. Everyone says wear earth tones, wear gray, wear muted colors. Fine, but what really matters is local baseline. If you're in a city, gray and dark blue work. If you're in a rural area after a crisis, you'll see more browns, more greens. The point isn't to pick the perfect camouflage color, it's to never be the brightest or the darkest thing in someone's peripheral vision. Human eyes are drawn to contrast. A solid black outfit in a crowd of people wearing faded colors will pull attention like a magnet. A bright red jacket obviously does the same. You want to be medium. Medium brightness, medium saturation, medium everything. Aggressively average. And for the love of all things practical, Take the logos off. That Glock hat, that Don't Tread on Me patch, that American flag Velcro on your sleeve. In normal life, cool. After the lights go out, those are tribal markers. They tell people exactly who you are, what you believe, and what you probably have. Remove them. All of them. Layer 2. The movement layer. This is where most people completely fall apart, and it's the part that matters 10 times more than your outfit. Because your body is broadcasting a signal every second you're in public, and predators, real ones, human ones, are reading that signal like a book. Research by criminologists Betty Grayson and Morris Stein back in 1981 showed something chilling. They filmed people walking down a street and then showed the footage to convicted muggers in a prison, asked them who they'd target. The muggers almost universally picked the same people. Not the smallest, not the oldest, the ones who moved wrong. Specifically, people with inconsistent stride length, people who shuffled, people whose arms didn't swing naturally, people who looked like they didn't belong in their own body. What the muggers were reading was confidence and awareness, or the lack of it. And here's the paradox of the gray man. You need to move with enough confidence that predators don't see you as easy prey, but not so much confidence that you look like a challenge, not so much swagger that you look like you're worth something. You're not the strongest person on the street. You're not the weakest. You're wallpaper. Walk at the speed everyone else is walking. Match the crowd's energy. If people are moving fast and nervous, you move fast and nervous. If people are shuffling slowly, you shuffle slowly. You are a mirror, a social chameleon. The moment your pace or your posture doesn't match the herd, you become visible. Now. Your hands. I told you we'd get here. Your hands are one of the first things a threat-aware person looks at. Military personnel are trained to watch hands. Criminals do it instinctively. Hands tell someone if you're armed, if you're nervous, if you're reaching for something. If your hands are buried in your pockets, that's suspicious. If your hands are clenched, that signals aggression or fear. If you keep touching your waistband or your bag, you're telling everyone where your valuables are. I've caught myself doing this, adjusting a concealed carry, touching the strap of a bag with something important in it. Your hands are narcs. They will betray you every single time if you don't consciously control them. Keep them visible, loose, and boring. Carry something mundane, a plastic bag, a water bottle, something that occupies your hands and makes them unremarkable. And eyes. Don't stare. Don't make prolonged eye contact, but don't look at the ground either. That's prey behavior. The technique used in urban surveillance work is called soft scanning. You let your eyes move naturally across the environment. You see everything. You lock on to nothing. Think about how you look at shelves in a grocery store. Casual, browsing, taking it all in without fixating. That's how your eyes should move on the street. Now, if you're still with me, this is where we go deeper than any gray man video you've watched before. And honestly, if this kind of knowledge matters to you, hit subscribe, because the world is getting weirder by the month, and the stuff we cover here might matter sooner than any of us want to admit. Layer 3. The social layer. This is the invisible layer, and it's the one that separates someone who looks plain from someone who is truly a ghost. In every post-collapse environment, from Bosnia to Venezuela to post-Katrina New Orleans, the survivors who lasted longest weren't the most armed. They were the most socially invisible. Selko Begovic, a Bosnian war survivor who documented a year of urban survival, said something that stuck with me. He said the people who survived weren't the tough guys with guns. The tough guys with guns became targets. The people who survived were the ones nobody noticed, the ones who seemed like they had nothing worth taking. And that goes beyond clothes. It's about how you interact. If you talk to someone, you give vague answers. Not suspicious vague, boring vague. Where are you heading? Oh, just over that way. What's in the bag? Just some old clothes. You don't volunteer information. You don't brag. You don't complain. Complainers reveal what they're missing. Braggers reveal what they have. Both are dangerous. You are the most boring person in any conversation. People's brains are wired to discard boring. There's actually neuroscience behind this. The reticular activating system in your brain filters out routine stimuli. It's why you stop hearing the hum of your refrigerator. You want to be the hum of the refrigerator, the thing that's there but nobody consciously processes. And here's something almost nobody in the prepper space discusses: your smell. After a few days without running water, everyone's going to smell rough. But if you've been eating well while others are starving, you might smell different. Cooked food scent on your clothes, a whiff of coffee, soap. These are luxury signals in a collapse environment. You smell clean in a world that's filthy, and people notice. Maybe not consciously, but something pings in their brain. That person has access to things I don't. So be careful. Don't cook near windows. Change your outer layer before going out. A stupid detail, maybe, but survival is made of stupid details that kill people who ignored them. One more thing that ties all of this together. Routine is a killer. If you leave your house at the same time every day, take the same route, visit the same locations, you create a pattern. Patterns are predictable. Predictable is targetable. Vary your routes. Vary your timing. Never let someone build a model of your behavior. In surveillance and counter-surveillance, this is called route analysis, and it's one of the first things anyone planning to ambush or rob someone looks for. FBI behavioral analysts estimate that over 60% of planned assaults involve some form of prior observation of the target's routine. Don't have a routine. Now let me tie this all back together, because there's a reason this works, and it's not just about looking plain. The greyman concept works because of how the human threat detection system operates. Your brain processes roughly 11 million bits of sensory information per second, but your conscious mind can only handle about 50 out of 11 million. So your brain uses shortcuts. It flags things that are different, things that are new, things that are threatening, things that are valuable. Everything else gets dumped, filtered out, ignored. The greyman doesn't avoid detection by being stealthy. The greyman avoids detection by being exactly what the brain expects to see. Expected equals irrelevant. Irrelevant equals invisible. The world doesn't need to not see you. It just needs to not remember you. Picture that street again, the one with the checkpoints and the hungry eyes. You're walking through. Your bag looks like everyone else's bag. Your clothes are dusty, faded, average. Your pace matches the crowd. Your hands hold a crumpled plastic bag. Your eyes scan softly, seeing everything, locking on to nothing. Someone glances at you. Their brain runs the calculation. Threat? No. Value? No. Interesting? No. And their eyes slide right past you, like water off glass. 6 blocks later, you're home. Nobody followed you. Nobody remembers you. You are nobody. And nobody is exactly who survives. The greyman isn't a costume you put on. It's a discipline you practice until it becomes your second skin. Start now. Start before you need it. Because the day you actually need to disappear into a crowd is not the day you want to be learning how. If this changed how you think about survival, tell me in the comments, what's the one thing you'd have the hardest time giving up in a collapse? The tactical gear? The boots? The patches? Be honest and subscribe, because the knowledge you build before the crisis is the only knowledge that counts when it arrives.